All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You are watching TV Point, and the conversation tonight is this: Men's Health Week, or rather Men's Mental Wellness. Now, before we went on that very short break, we were talking about why men don't cry. This was a comment made by Josh. And let me just start with Ben. Why do you think men don't cry? Do you cry yourself?
Thank you, and I do cry. Let me say that this problem starts from way kitambo sana. Tukiwa watoto, we used to have these people kwa shule wanakuja wanasema they are doing girl child empowerment, right? Na tukagrow tukiona watu wakiempower our sisters. Fast forward tumefika university, tunapata the same people, either government initiatives zenye ziko na only girl child empowerment, sawa? So the neglect ya boy child ilifanya boy child wakuwe weak. I usually say men are the weakest. Because the things that women undergo, if only one could be given to a man cannot handle. So why do you ignore the weak vessels, then you empower the strong ones? So men are, it's okay to cry. We have an initiative, we call it Men's Talk. We advocate for that. Because once, for a man, unapata kuna vitu mingi zinasumbuanga wanaume, including finances, relationships. These things, if they don't talk about them, zitaumiza. That's why we get things like a man is indulged in drinking or drug abuses. Unaelewa? Ama fighting, ama anxiety. So it's good to advocate for that, for talks and crying. Crying it's okay. It's okay to cry as a man. It doesn't show less of a man, or weakness. So I advocate for that. I do cry, and I advocate for that, because once you do, una release a lot that is inside.
Cass, do you cry? And why don't men cry? Why is that notion so much glorified?
I mean, I think crying is it's such a basic emotion, but I'll take a rather radical stance that real men don't cry. And I'll say this symbolically because it is a call to emotional regulation. It does not mean that your tears should not flow. And when people say that kind of thing, it usually is assumed to say that a man should suppress whatever emotion it is that they're going through. But that is a call to well-regulation. Because the same people who propose that men should cry have a problem when men shout and start throwing things around. They have a problem when men become physically violent. They have a problem when we focus on one form of expression while forgetting, it's almost as if saying this is the only form of self-expression that is permissible. So it is not, I'm not calling men to not express their feelings healthily. And I'm not saying that you should, I mean, if you can't be stoic, by all means, I invite you to try it. But if you're going through things, it is very important for us to contextualize it. Because as a man, if you're responsible for yourself or for loved ones, if they're depending on you for a sense of direction, which is normally the story of most men, if I live with my dependents, it's a good thing for me to show them that I've got this. I'm not saying that I will have everything right. What I'm insinuating is they need to have a sort of security. Could be myself, could be other people. But by saying real men do not cry, all I'm saying is we should not be emotional about our approach to life, because a lot of the times, then what is the scope? Because when I feel mad, I should be able to throw hands then. When I feel sad or when you disappoint me or if you insult me, I should be able to curse you out. So for me, crying is not I'm not thinking about it as shedding tears, because every once in a while you see something that's absolutely hilarious, or you're with your boys and you share the most amazing conversation and you laugh until you guys cry. Or sometimes you've lost a loved one or a parent, and those times tears flow. But the hyperfixation on men's emotionality, and not to criminalize emotions, but the hyperfixation on men expressing their emotion, I think that is where I would just have a bit of reservation, as much as compared to just us healthily expressing. Instead of us driving to say, express this particular emotion more, it should be, how can we create a society that's functional enough for you to not have to make these kinds of calculations and say, this is the emotion I will express more, this is the emotion I'll express less of. If we're living in a healthily functioning ecosystem, this is not a discussion we should have, whether should you cry more or cry less.
Mike, from a psychologist perspective, what's your take on that?
Some phrases were brought by a philosopher or by Mike, na labda hazikuwa na miguu. Men don't cry. You see, and people will pick that and become the real thing. Everybody have emotions, either a man or a woman. The only thing we need is how to mitigate, how to manage the emotion. I don't have to manage the emotion as a man that's better than you, but emotion must be managed. Feelings are there, and they will be there. So looking in the global way, that emotions and feelings, it's okay, it's very okay. It's very okay. But how we are inculcating or encapsulating the formation and the mentorship of this man is what I have a problem. Because sahi tukiwa huku juu, people are expecting a lot, and we are expected, people will come, scholars will come with words, cognitive, not emotional, cognitive, how a man should be. When you look about responsibility and everything, even women, there are things that today's society, if you look even the CBC, the curriculum have changed, even the type of families, it have changed completely. So responsibility are there, shared, both by men and by women. So both of them, they will still, there is a punch, there is something to hit them. There's something to hit you, there's something to hit me. It will affect my emotion. It will affect my feelings. So my emotion will start reacting. How they react matters a lot. So there is how the society expect of you. So the societal need tells you, if you cry as a man, it's wrong. You should be a man. So when that comes to my subconscious mind, then it starts challenging my mind. That's why you'll find today, men are dying more than women. Why? Because we have not encapsulated, we have not been mentored to that we can relieve our emotions. We can talk it out. Women will share it either in the wrong way or not, either in saloon or not in saloon.
Right.
They will shout it whichever way, but it will come out.
Right.
But for us, mimi nakaa nayo hivi, my friend. Afterward, utanikuta. Because
mbona unakaa nayo hivyo?
Sasa hiyo ndio wewe kama mama yangu, you know, hata imagine, my dear, you're my sister. Wewe ndio mkubwa kuniliko, mimi ndio mdogo. My mom still expect me to behave better than you.
True.
That's how us it is. My mom still expect that, hey, baze, unaliaje kama mwanamke. You know, even some phrases are funny.
I actually support Mike, because first, it's like we are being stigmatized for accepting our feelings and emotions.
Right.
But the way we express it now, that is where the problem comes. Men expressing their emotions, you know, according to the toxicity masculinity teachers, they will tell you, you know, go out there, you know, maybe do something physical, you know. But what about that other aspect of not going physical? Okay, you can go to the gym, lift some weights if you feel depressed. That's fine. But what about that aspect of talking to someone?
Right.
You know, that is actually what people call it effeminating men or effeminated men. When you talk to a person or you are trying, and you know, I'm actually looking at I don't know, Mike maybe will tell us, whether actually men come to, consult with him,
Yes.
open up to him, to see the therapist. Do they? No, they don't. Why? Because they have been, built to know that they are supposed to be strong. I am supposed to be a man enough.
You must have a solution.
I hate when someone says a real man. Who is a real man? And
Define-
a real man?
Hold it right there. Do you agree that men don't seek help?
I feel like the line of questioning is a bit flawed because everybody seeks help. Anyone who is in a complicated
Well, Josh is
situation.
saying that for men specifically, they don't go to hospital to say that they are maybe mentally depressed or mentally not okay.
That's why I would say the line of questioning is just a little, it boxes you because anybody who's going through something seeks help, whether they, in a way they know best. That's why some people will go into drugs. It could be a wake-up call and it would be a cry for help. Some people will self-isolate. It still is a cry for help. So the thing we should do is maybe avail these kinds of facilities. And that's why I would say the only way we can beat whatever it is that you're going through is if you have a healthy community around you and you're consistently investing in the development of yourself. Because there's stuff that you can get away with without ever having to step into a psychologist or a psychotherapist's office. Because if we analyze it as well, a lot of the kind of help that we find in therapy rooms are usually very centered around how does this make you feel? By the time a man is saying that they're depressed or they're struggling mentally, a lot of the time it usually feels like it's a control problem, that I have things I need to change about my life and I do not have the necessary tools. So I think it's just a matter of equipping, and I have a problem with us trying to compare men's mental health to women's mental health, or thinking that men's mental health has declined because we have empowered the women. It's more about how we approach each other as men, because nobody is coming to save you. If I decide whatever it is that I'm going through, because it's part of shared in public domain, beyond the sharing, I have to decide that I will work on the biographical. So I will do the reading and say that this is what I've discovered about my illness. I will do the vocational aspect of it, because the vocation is not only your calling, but also how you show up in communities. And then I will work on the medication. So sharing is just but one step, and of course we usually know, we say that a problem shared is a problem halved, but you have to do the reading, you have to do the showing up in the community, and you also have to work on the medication, because a lot of the times for your mental issues, you're either trying to prevent actions or you're trying to mitigate the consequences of your actions. So I feel it's all about establishing healthier, richer communities and building resilience. That's what I can say from experience. It's not necessarily about how many people ask for help. After asking for help, is the help that is available useful in the transformation of your life? Because asking for help, everybody, I do not believe there's a single creature on earth that does not ask for help. When leaves wither, when the sunlight moves to a different direction, you see plants bend. When people depressed, they go use getaway drugs, or you find ways of relieving their stress. It's just that, one, are we equipped to interpret when men are asking for help?
Mage, just before you come in, Josh, Mage, do you agree that there is no safe space for men to come and seek these therapies that will later on lead on to maybe useful therapies, like he said, maybe?
No, we need, and that's why society have changed. The concept of people talking about help and counseling is totally different today. Totally different. It's not an L angle any long. Yesterday I was in Keru Boys in Moranga. I had over 900 boys. What are we talking to them? Now, if we say, and I agree with him and somehow I disagree, everybody seeks for help. That's not help. If I am pressed, then I'll project, not looking for help. I project by going to drink.
Yeah.
It's called a defensive mechanism. So because sijapata msaada na sitaki kuongea, wacha nikawake. Because, and there are some other things, defensive can be good, wacha niende football. You see, but this person will think, now nimekosa help. People, and especially men, apart from live about, we are not talking of profession where you are looking about camera inashikoaje. We are talking about emotion, human person, a man. So sometimes when we were so, and they are all over, I mean universities, unakuta amekuwa na pressure ya nyumbani, this and this, aongei. Sababu aongei, atakuwa na madem kama 100. Lakini behind this man, kuna kitu inamsumbua. If you look at the cases we are getting in school, I've been a chairman of 2 or 3 schools. And the cases that are being brought there, if they were mitigated, and especially on the school, in the boys' school, if it was mitigated well, it is natural, it's mentorship taken place to help this man to realize when you feel like this, you can pour it like this. It is not there in the society.
True.
So the truth is, men, we are dying with our own problems.
Actually, I agree. I agree with Mike, because we have not created the safe space, if I may call it that way. I think we should first create the space. Like me and Cass, and we create that space that I can come and just hug you and you tell me it's okay. Yeah. But people are nikikuja kuaga jamani ndaitwa gay. You know, you see, people have just they are not there. They are not there for them, for the men, for the brothers. It's not good for a man to hug another man. You see, there's not that safe space for us as men.
Hata angalia kwa mazishi. Huyu jamani kimsalimia ni shoda na nimemgota weenda. You and another woman, you hold each other and cry. And you're out of that. Lakini huyu jamani na amekufiwa, mazi sawa bro, sawa. Yuko sawa.
Yeah, so Cass mentioned self-isolation, and that is what most men do. You have a problem, so you isolate yourself. And what happens after that, indoors? You smoke a lot of weed, you drink a lot of beer and alcohol, and at the end of it all, what's going to happen? You're going to become an addict. So even though we are saying that we shouldn't really focus on the aspect of, sharing, crying, and all that, believe you me, if you need help, you have to seek it. You're not going to be an angel to interpret your behavior that, this one is behaving for you to actually get help, you have to come for it. You have to ask for it. And that why we're having this discussion today is we should now enable people to know that it is okay for me to come out, to talk about issues. And well, I know what most men do because I'm a man, and we go out with the boys. We go out, drink, have fun, talk, enjoy all that kind of thing. But we also need to now come back to the aspect of now talking issues out. I'm a teacher, and in high schools we have a big problem because students also have that problem of not sharing. But when we make that space safe, when a student knows they can trust you, that when you talk to them, when they talk to you, that story is just going to end there, and you're not going to make the student feel like less of a man because they have talked to you. When we make this space safe, I think we're going to create very energetic men. And let me tell you something. Women, and I'm not downplaying, the aspect of, empowering women, but when women cry, when women talk, they would handle issues that are so grave, but they would handle them with smiles, something that a man could not probably. So if we accept the norm of talking out and opening up and not calling other people names when they open up, I think we are creating a safe space for everyone to be in a safe space, in a good state of mind.
And it's bringing healing in spirituality. In fact, speaking out. I can speak it out without tears, but I've spoken it out, it's bringing healing. That's when healing takes place. All
right, now time is almost running out, but before I get your parting shots, you're a teacher, Josh. So how do you create, because when you're starting, you mentioned that these problems, especially for men, it starts at a very young age. So for you, how are you creating these safe spaces or just safe environments for these young men?
Well, thanks. I think we need to create bonds. Let there not be a big chasm between a teacher and a student, because a student needs to know that they can trust you to talk to you, not just consulting you in matters academics. They need to know that they can actually consult you, talk to you in a friendlier manner. But then we also need to create more awareness, because for a student to come see you, they need to be aware first. They need to know that sometimes you handle issues of parents that are fighting and students who are not able to sleep. They are coming to school depressed. Those kind of things. They need to know that it is okay for them to open up. But then for them to open up, we also need to create a safer space. And how do we do that? By creating awareness. by creating awareness not only in schools but even in the communities. And thankfully we have a conversation today in the television station, in all platforms. We need to create awareness that it's okay for men to talk about their mental issues.
All right. Mate, in 0.03 seconds, what's your parting shot? That's we close.
What you're doing is the right way. What you're doing, because let me tell you, create a room. So how we do it is, today counseling, ukiandika counseling hapo hakuna mtu anakuja. That's why we are doing mentorship. But now it will start with me, how accommodative I am as a trainer, as a teacher, as a mentor, as a scholar to that person. How am I accommodative to my brother that ana feel yenyewe maichi nikibonga naye hakuna shida. So guys, let's start with me. Let's start with you as a teacher. Be accommodative, make fun. Enjoy it. Go to football. Avoid those L angles for counseling. I start with myself to accommodate the others, to accommodate these men, and you'll find as we chat like this, come up with games, we got to, by the way, unajua niko na kashida fulani. Bas. Safe place, start from there. Starting with me and becoming friendly and get to the other people.
Awesome. Ben?
Thank you, Anne, for what you are doing. For me, I think the government should play a role in supporting the initiatives that are there. For example, we have a youth mentorship program that we speak to this, we create that safe space to the youths and more so to the men. Because I'm an advocate, I'm a men's advocate. I love the fact that we men are not accepted in the society, or we are somehow pressed. So the government should come and support the initiatives that are there, so that we may at least reach more and more young men that are growing up, and that we may tell them that it is okay. It is okay to cry. It is okay to speak. It is okay to talk. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Cass, as we close.
I think it is very important for us as men to determine whose attention it is that we would love to court when we ask for help. Because a lot of the time, it is an attention thing. If we are seeking women's attention, we will have to carefully reconsider how we treat them on the days that we are doing well. If it is the attention of other men, we will have to reconsider how we show up in male-centered spaces for us to form healthy communities. While just discussing this, this is a lifelong thing. You have to consistently educate, re-educate yourself. But in the building of the holistic man, you have to work on your nutrition, you have to exercise, you have to ensure your water intake is good, you have to be temperate in the things that you're doing, ensure you get sunlight, get fresh air, most importantly get rest, and find a purpose that's bigger than yourself, which usually is when we bring in the trust in a divine power or a higher power. While this is a conversation that is not easy to have in half an hour, part of the things that we will need to do is consistently say, before I go to other men, I will ensure that I do my honest part in study, in developing myself, and where I feel I am failing, I can depend on men who are doing better instead of trying to bring other people down for us to find validation.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, my take home is it's okay to speak up, it's okay to cry. And I know I'll tell someone it's okay to cry and they'll tell me, we're a watcher. So gentlemen, thank you so much for making time for To The Point for this wonderful show, if I do say so myself. See you again in November. Awesome. Thank you so much, dear gentle viewer, for watching this program tonight. See you again next time. Have a wonderful night. My name is Anne Odida.